Hey, you guys, you may wonder why I always talk about the border, but there are a lot of underlying factors of why all these people are being brought into the United States. Now, a little required reading. I want to take you back, way back, would be this book. And then we're always interested in this, but we're not so sure it'll ever end. And then this book, too, is good reading. Now, back when I was, what would be 1968, I had a job for $2 an hour. Everybody said, $2 an hour? Yeah, but it used to say silver certificate, and $1 was worth 1 ounce of silver. This is the latest one, but you see down here it says $1. Yeah, right, that costs 25 bucks now. So that $1 is probably worth that right now in silver. So today's time, $15 an hour don't even make it. If $25 for $1, if you're paid $2 an hour, to silver dollars, that'd be $50 an hour. Something to think about. Now, since that got down to that for $1 worth of silver, let's talk about what's going on elsewhere. Now, who makes up all this stuff? Well, there's the International Monetary Fund, Bank of International Settlements. These are all, the big guys are figuring this out. Well, now in Vietnam, they used to have, it's called a tong. It used to be worth something to them. But because of the Vietnam War, of course, the big guys said, well, you guys aren't going to be making this money. We're going to devalue your money. Well, they said, well, at 1 dong and 10 dong, it ain't going to work. So they started printing 50,000. And then it didn't work, so they went to 500,000. And it's worth pennies, I'm telling you. Now, right here, then you got the Iraqi War. We have, at the time of the beginning of the war, and also in most of the other countries around there, the dinar was worth $3.20 or so. Right here is a 1/2 dinar. At the time, it'd be worth, $1.50. But the war happened, so they started cutting them off. But they were getting along just fine with, now 1 dinar would be $3.20. All right, and $5. This is what they used. Well, then the war came, and the Bank of International Settlements said, well, we're going to have to devalue your money so you can't buy anything. So they went out and printed 10,000 dinar, which ain't worth much these days. That didn't work. So they went out and paid 25,000 dinar, worth about, 40, 50 bucks. Well, and the same thing now, Zimbabwe used to be Rhodesia. If you look into who Cecil Rhodes was, he was a big dog from Britain. But when they got independence, they said, well, we're going to take all your money away. Well, they said, well, I will pay. They've got gold, diamonds. They got so much stuff in Zimbabwe. But that didn't work. Went up to $10 billion, right? Boy, I feel rich. Well, that didn't work. They had to go up to $50 billion. I think they got a $1 trillion note, too. Just ridiculous. But then when you go back to our dollar, which now is losing value. Well, what the heck? what's going on here, folks? I thought my dollar, well, it lost value when it lost silver value. Well, now there's this other thing I'll put it in my description. This is a really beautiful note, I think. But people keep talking about, well, let's revalue all the money and where everything's worth roughly the same. Well, it's not going to work. And in the description box, I'm going to put some information of where to understand where money comes from. Now, this stack here was all, they don't use it anymore because all these different companies, Belgium, Germany, Britain for a while, Italy, they all went, now they use the euro. So they don't use that anymore. But you notice that none of these are made out of silver. We got copper, we got brass, we got, one of them's aluminum. Oh, that sounds like a valuable metal. And this is interesting where they put two different metals worth nothing, worth a penny. But these cost, well, you can spend even more, but roughly $25 for real silver. Always examine it and make sure it says 999. See if I can get that in there. 0.999 real silver. That's the only good money in the world right now. And even if you have to go out and pan for it, for the gold. Well, there's this thing that in my description box, I want you to do research of where does money really come from? Well, way back. In these days, as far as I can tell, these entities came from another planet or another star system, and they set up the money system, the Babylonian debt system, the whatever, and it's almost like artificial intelligence. It's been here for thousands of years. We think we're all hot shit because we got this computer system. Well, this is like a computer system, but it's far advanced. And that all of the money was kept in what's called the back system. And to get a hold of that, you had to go through these guys. And On, who was the god of Egypt and Babylon, and then you had Enlil and Enki, and then it went down to Marduk. Well, these guys weren't all that nice, and they usually intermarried, and this, people talk about the bloodline families date back to where a little bit of DNA from these guys. So it's very important to understand that what's going on today had a lot of influence from the stars. Well, everything changed. This guy Marduk is no longer with us, and but one of the other ways that, now, for instance, today I was reading the Build Back Better, and they're $120 billion. $120 billion is been, let's talk billions here. This is what's going to happen to the American dollar. And 120 billion has just been set to protect the immigrants from getting deported. It's just ridiculous. Well, these guys, all these countries, the banks, the military, have always been gone to Marduk for their money. Well, Marduk's dead, and it's switched now to the good side, to the side of light. And all they have to do, they can see the money in their account, but they cannot touch it until they sign a contract to stop hurting the humans. So now we got income tax up about 50%. of every dollar you make, your hard-earned money, is now going to ridiculous things. Well, that's the only way they can get any money because they can't get to the back system. But let's talk about why we have so many immigrants. This is why. The more birth certificates, and then you see this number right here, this number is traded on the stock exchange. So the more people they can get in here and get that birth certificate, get their little grubby hands on it, the more that they can get money. All they got to do is sign the contract, say that they will be our guardians and not our captors, and we could all be in the chips again. Okay, that's enough for now.